Okay. So, I believe this session. One thing that we didn't do last week that we probably should.
Yar.
Um, I don't think you guys decided what dice the Gear Boys should be using for the projects.
Oh yeah. Let's see what our options were again.
I thought we were having them work on the armor.
What, the
Right? What
reverse
was
engineer? Because you don't have the
it?
Prometheus armor yet.
Yeah, but we can have them work on the Mark III because we had all those Mark III corpses and we didn't have anything else really for them to do.
All of
Right?
them dead robots.
Okay.
Yeah, the dead robots. Where was that? Did we pin that? I like how my only pinned message is just that picture. I don't think we pinned that message.
No, we do
There
either.
was there was a wait, was it? Oh wait, it might have not been in that. It might have been, yeah, it's an evil squad. There we go.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, because it's right there we go. Okay. That we needed fixed reactor. We needed fixed reactor.
Yeah.
Oh. Uh, so I will do 12 dice here.
Okay. And then we have 10 free dice towards Mark III research. Was that on reverse engineer right there? So I mean, obviously we should work on
We
that,
have
right?
4 dice because we can put, um, God, Barry. We can put Barry on the reactor, and he does 4 dice, which leaves 2 Gear Boys free. So we can put 4 more dice on the Mark III research if you'd like.
Hmm.
Um, I reckon we probably want to fix the base up before we devote that
Yeah, I
much
feel like
resource to the armor.
I feel like first thing we should do, we already fixed the reactor. That was just so that we didn't explode, right?
Yeah.
Or do something else as well.
It stops the meltdown, ups Gear Boy morale. They're like, oh, okay, these guys actually give a shit and understand the consequences. And it turns on some of the automated defenses.
That
Sweet.
seems good.
Yeah, well, good thing we did that. High five.
Schlap.
I think we might want to just do a workshop with the last 12 we have, right?
That
What
sounds
do you think?
good.
We have 4 remaining.
Oh. Um.
I thought we had 20 dice total.
Oh, I thought we were doing. Okay, so you're not putting any towards Mark III assumed. Okay.
No, yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
We can work on that after we get some of the workshops built because we want them to have nice places to work, right?
And then we have. That gives us a total of 16. Because remember, Barry isn't part of the 20, and he gives 4 dice towards nuke stuff.
Right.
So, I was wondering about this since Dredger has a tinker power. Even though it's paranormal, is that something that he could teach to various Gear Boys?
They wouldn't really be down for learning it anyway, just due to their culture.
Okay.
So we could do 12 to get one workshop up.
I
And then we'd have 4 left, you said?
Uh huh.
I was going to try to argue that if since the way that Dredger makes them is like an incredibly good understanding of how the damp works, I thought that I was going to try bring it up to them to try and explain that if I show one of them how to do this, they will also probably understand to a very high level how the damp works.
Okay. So we're gonna. So That would take the fun out of it a little bit for them because they like working around the damp.
Okay. Okay, I'm
You can-
beginning to understand their culture.
You can force them to learn it. It would just set their morale back. So think of it as like 5 stages: 2 negative, 2 positive, 1 neutral.
Mm-hmm.
It goes like happiest, happy, neutral, sad, saddest.
Sage.
You can force them to do things by knocking morale down a point, but if morale is higher, they're more likely to like go above and beyond for stuff on their own.
Okay.
But
And morale is already gonna take a bit of a hit because of the
yeah,
waterlogged.
they started at -1. They started at sad because of the waterlogged. They are now back to neutral because you fixed the reactor.
It's like, welcome to sad mode with sad boys.
Nah, it's cool. They're happy now. Well, they're neutral now.
Yay.
About as happy as a person can be.
The boys are good. Little.
Okay. We have 32 remaining, or
That's progress towards reverse engineering the Mark III.
okay. And then we use 8 to fix, so we have 12 dice. I think we just, well, technically 16
because Barry.
Okay.
Barry.
Um.
So 12 in the workshop to build one.
Yeah. What?
And
How specific is each workshop? Is that like, do we have to build a workshop per the idea or just in general?
So, how workshops work? Give me 1 second.
it looks like they work off of all the boys working in that workshop work on the same project and gain an additional die for being in that workshop.
So basically, yeah, it takes a week for a workshop to be retooled towards a specific project. But once you do that, all the gear boys in it gain an extra dice for efficiency
Okay.
because they're in a place geared towards that specific thing. Basically, workshops are you stick those on long-term projects.
Yeah, like the mass production kit.
Yeah, it just makes them a lot more efficient. But if you change it, not only do you need to devote a gear boy towards retooling the workshop, you don't get any benefit when you change the workshop up for a week, which is large.
Okay.
So can we make one, like the workshop we just made, for like Mark IIIs? Or is it specifically reverse engineering Mark IIIs and mass producing Mark IIIs?
So here's the thing. The workshop would be treated as completed at the end of all this. So if you wanted to do it like... you could build it for reverse engineering Mark IIIs, and then you would be able to assign people to that workshop at the end of this session to get a benefit if you want to do that.
Would it be bad for the Moreo if we wanted them to start manufacturing the armor?
No, they'd be okay with that.
I mean, on basis that they were enslaved by Iron Legion to do that.
Well, see, here's the thing. You've promised them that you're working towards fucking over the Iron Legion, and they like the idea of using the own armors to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I think what we do then with our 4 remaining dice, we're going to eventually that workshop, I think we just put it straight to mass producing Mark IIIs, and we just put the last 4 dice into reverse engineering Mark III armor.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And then we can have the next like group of dice just go to finishing that off, but we won't switch the workshop over. We'll leave it on mass produce for now.
Yeah.
That way it'll, once we finish doing the research, we can have the workshop people just get right into mass producing and they'll get the extra die, so that'll go by real quick. Because by the time we set it to reverse engineer, it would already, unless my math is wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's right, it's always going to take like 2 sessions essentially.
Yeah.
Like from now. So I think we're just gonna do that like that.
Okay.
That is
Consider-
the long-term thinking you need for a workshop, yeah.
Yeah.
Start that. Any last minute stuff, Tom?
How
Any other
much?
ideas?
How much? Well, at first, I'd like to ask how much time has passed since last session. In game.
Maybe like a few hours.
Okay, so I wouldn't have had time to make any treasure totems yet.
You can take that time if you'd like to.
Okay, like Dredger would need to set up his own place of work, which I guess would also involve setting up the specifics of where the waterlogged are staying. So, what building were the Gear Boys not using?
The administration building, pretty much.
Okay. What lodging, if any, does a waterlogged need?
They don't really sleep. They are pretty much geared towards always going out and making life worse for everyone else.
Okay.
That seems to be how they feel themselves, actually.
Okay. So Dredger will then spend some time after the dinner in an attempt to like use the powerful foods of the spirit of the spirit of the known LLC to help the Gear Boys feel a bit better about their miserable fucking lives. Dredger will spend some time laying out the ground rules to the waterlogged. Just generally explaining that we're here to. The Gear Boys are helping us. They are not to be tormented or interacted with as little as possible, basically.
You protect, and you're invisible. Those are the rules.
Yeah, like if you can, don't enter their buildings at all.
With the exception being if they need you to move something really heavy for them and they're okay with it.
Yeah, like if they ask you to go into the building, and that is explicitly ask you.
Okay.
And I'd like to say I don't feel cognizant enough at this exact moment to go over the exact nature of the rules, but I would like to assume that Dredger, being partially Avery and partially a tens of thousands of year old fairy abomination, has a pretty damn good idea how to get around weasel words.
So, you know that for a fact that Waterlogged don't care so much about weasel words. They are just going to be, like, not actively malicious, per se,
Yeah.
but they're gonna... They are okay bending rules slightly to do what they want to do.
Okay, I'm just gonna have Dredger try to make this as airtight as possible,
Okay.
with the caveats and explanations in an attempt to have them want to or be willing to do that in the first place, explaining it like we need the Gear Boys to be safe because and happy and working properly because they are useful, they are effective for all of our goals. And Dredger will sort of point to each of the waterlogged to explain what their goals are. That like implying their goals of just generally fucking shit up.
Alright.
Because I realized that Dredger can't really teach the waterlogged to be different, but he can probably teach them delayed gratification. And that some people... and that sometimes it makes sense to work with people to fuck other people over worse.
You are now speaking the Waterlogged language. They understand now.
Yeah, like Dredger will now attempt to teach them delayed gratification and the worst form of sharing.
Welcome to Hell Kindergarten.
Ooh, that I don't like that idea. I'm scared now.
Okay. Boundary set. Projects in progress. Okay. Now, that's all the groundwork done. that leads to, I believe, this week you guys said you wanted to check out Greywall, the prison. Get your boy Omega.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, in the assorted materials Mammon Gray left you on this area, Greywall is mentioned as, he has someone who he's. I don't know if we established Mammon Gray has been in contact with Alpha and Omega in the past.
Uh,
What?
there was Captain Crush.
Ah, yes.
Understandable.
He's in the distance.
He's in the
Waiting.
place.
He's talking to Omega to ask him. I don't know where I put Omega on the roommate chart, but probably the bottom. Like this.
He's that roommate that tries to raise a cow indoors.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's about right. I was gonna say Wheezy, but like I guess he smokes a lot. Doesn't he also need his place to be like really cold?
He just likes it cold. He doesn't need it.
Okay, I had thought this was something like he actually biologically requires it to be below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, is how I've always thought of him.
Because he's always had like an inch of sweat on him at all times.
Oh. Oh yeah, and that's like that. I remember now. That's why I started joking about him melting, and that's his speed form.
What are we talking about?
We see. So, with Omega, I know we talked about it. I don't know if we established if Mammon Gray had had contact with him in the past or not.
So, I think he probably would have heard about him.
Okay, but it's not like here's a contract I have if you guys want to go claim it.
Yeah, it's more of just like this is his opportunity to like get the contract because Alpha, he doesn't trust anybody to begin with.
Got it. So
Situation probably would, like, if he can't get out by himself, then he would begrudgingly accept the deal this time.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. All right. So
Mammon could have like snuck into the prison somehow and like offered the deal and then told him it will be done eventually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, this sorry. So he's marked as being in a correctional facility named Greywall. That's not its full name, but that's the only name that's survived. There's what's up?
Oh, sorry. Continue.
There's pictures and locations and files on it. Not a ton is known, and weirdly enough, a lot of the pictures look like they're from before the Awakening. Like, it's a pristine road, functional street lights. This place has no signs of wear and tear. So, you'll have to keep an eye out for what it looks like now. But
Do we have any idea how long ago that these pictures were taken?
there's no date on them, so it's hard to say.
I mean, like, how long ago was the Awakening in this specific region of the city?
Like 3 years ago, overall. I'm assuming no temporal anomalies. Which, there do exist those in the Southern Bog, but usually not this far north.
Okay.
That's usually further south.
Okay.
Greywall is known for... It dumped a bunch of people very early on, but far less than the people that should have been there. And generally speaking, pretty much no one that's ever gone in that place has come out. There was also some marketing material about serving your sentence in 1 second. Like, it was a private prison whose main selling point was something they did allowed inmates to experience their entire sentence in no time at all. And thus they would be put back into the workforce faster.
Oh, good. It seems like one of those moments where it's like, hey, this institution's pretty fucked up. Let's get Urban Decay on the horn.
Hey, buddy. You still mad?
Okay, I feel like asking Urban Decay, hey, buddy, you still mad, is maybe the quickest way to get killed in this setting that I've yet heard.
Alright. But, yeah. The important takeaway is people go in, they don't come out. There is a note that, don't bring anything you're not willing to lose. Because even like the 1 or 2 people who have gotten out have come out with less than what they went in with.
All right. Foreboding.
Interesting. Very weird.
So Dredger will, in the offices that he's now turning in, allowing the waterlog to convert and making a room, presumably Dredger will be staying with the waterlog, so he'll be making a room in that part of the building, like in the administrative offices.
Mm-hmm.
He will leave behind the compliant key.
Gotcha.
Then he'll go over to the Gearboy building, and actually, Alex, where do you imagine Gallant staying in this?
Oh, he's been trying to practice his Jenga skills, so he's most definitely with the Gear Boys, just trying to like work on his Jenga powers.
Okay.
He
I
has no ability to help unless they need things moved, so he's just goofing around.
I assume Exit Wound is on a
He's found a perch somewhere.
yeah, like he's at the highest point of this building, and I'm trying to imagine now what Hidden Sorrows does. And
may never know.
actually, you're right. I think it's actually funnier if we never have an answer about how he spends his time. Okay, so Dredger will walk into the Gearboys building and sort of flag one down who doesn't seem busy.
Alright, that's Barry, because all he's doing is playing Jenga after he got the reactor fix.
All right, Dredger will nod a greeting to him and say, we need to go to a prison in the area. It is called Greywall. Do you have any information you could give us about that?
Not really. Gear Boys, we don't go outside much. And he just ends the sentence there.
Dredger waits about 15 seconds and then nods again and says, would any of the others be likely to have any information about what's going on in this region of the bog?
He thinks for a second. Looks over. Hey, Terry, you went to prison once, right? Yeah! Nah, I don't think we would.
Dredger will wait 45 seconds and then nod again. Sigh and say, Terry, have you any information about prisons in this part of the bog?
Nah, I went to Mama Maylee's prison in the slums. Made me make snack cakes for 18 hours a day. Flour caked on your fucking skin. healed it off with it. I can't eat sugar anymore.
Wait, wait, no, pause. I'm sorry. Are you implying that one of the Gear Boys had been previously enslaved by Big Deborah?
Yeah.
Just like shaking.
It's like he finds a Hostess snack cake somewhere and he says a panic attack.
Yeah. Well, at least we know that guy won't betray us to Sweet Tooth.
Oh shit.
You want some candy? Just starts having like an actual panic attack.
Just builds a gun right then and there.
We should get Barry to use his 4 dice and giving that guy a berserker mode. Anti-diabetes crusader.
And then just unleash him.
Go, my child.
Get him. Get him. He's like the one who punished you. Get it. Alright. The ominousness of this you'll leave with less than you had is making me confused. So,
Yeah.
they mean like physically less than you had, or like if you don't bring anything physical in, it'll take something else from you?
Hard to say.
Dredger.
Maybe the people who went in before you were just weak.
I mean, that's also fair. That would definitely be Omega's mindset. If
So-
losing anything this place might have taken from him.
Yeah. I
What
wonder if
little
this means it'll be
humanity he
full
had
of stuff we could steal.
And then promptly lose, you're a genius.
Yeah.
If it's full of stuff, Sam, I just want you to know Omega has been sitting there collecting stuff if he's able to move around in this place.
Does
The
Omega
second you
have
realize
like an
people-
extra dimensional inventory?
No. He's
Okay.
just strong.
Okay.
Just that strong. He's got a big old bag
All right.
and a suit of armor that can make more pouches than necessary.
So hearing that the prison does take from you, Dredger will ask any of the Gear Boys if they have any silver that they would be all right with him taking.
The Gear Boys go into the kitchen, start turning out the drawers, and just start handing you silverware. It is silver.
That's good enough. That's good enough. That's some kind of value. It's metal that Dredger can touch. And hopefully this will be stolen before any of the very few effects he's carrying with him.
Barry's going down
Right.
and go, thank God you didn't ask for copper. The second he says that, one of the Gear Boys just fucking punches through the wall, starts ripping out copper wiring. No!
Stop it.
That's on me. I said the C word. I understand how. I know. That's on me. Put it back, though.
My fault. You can stop now.
Dredger will ask either way, what might you recommend we do to more safely traverse the bog?
I don't know. My answer's always just been don't go on the bog.
I suppose that's reasonable.
Dredger like owned the bog basically. That was the whole point.
Yeah, like Dredger.
It's more like he has a claim to the bog. He can wind up owning the bog. It's natural.
He-
Also have a floating ship.
We do, but previously in this region, at least for Hub Squad, that hasn't actually meant much.
I think we can take the floating ship, leave exit wound on it to kill anything that gets close enough to be an issue.
That seems like a good idea.
because he's never going into the prison again. Like, he's not really made to, like, or meant, I should say, to do anything besides, like, sit very far away from somewhere and be fed coordinates to put holes in things.
Mm-hmm.
And slash or use his eyeballs if they're close enough.
Could we actually have Barry put his 4 dice to making some sort of GPS system thing so that Hidden Sorrows and Exit Wound can more accurately communicate with each other?
Barry's gonna look down and go, I could do it with gamma emissions if you're willing to, like, put out a shit ton of radiation. Otherwise, I could probably get Clark on GPS stuff. He's probably more suited to it than I am. Actually, let's do Clark and Gable.
Judger will nod at that and say also, if it would be easier at some point once we return, we can show you how to have a better control of the damp. Perhaps you could use the damp itself as the medium.
Personally, that feels like taking a Rubik's Cube and just painting all the sides green, but you do you.
Judger doesn't know what to say about that, so he'll just kind of awkwardly clap and say, look over to Gallant, who I assume has been playing Jenga for 17 hours.
Immediately kicks the Jenga tower and goes, God damn it. Gets up, he's like, I need to do something else. This shit's bullshit.
The Jenga wreath that Barry has been constructing actually bounces without falling apart.
He's breaking the law.
Barry just looks over and goes, I don't know, maybe you better fucking Jenga. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sorry.
The spear comes out and, like, stops an inch away from his face, and he's like, no, we ain't doing bad things.
I'm sorry. He's breaking the law. It's so good. That's so fucking funny. God damn it. Okay. All right.
Alan, on his way out, does grab the APC and kind of, like, drag it back inside really quick. Just go, by the way, there was all this metal sitting out front. I don't know if it was yours, and just, like, slams it on the ground right next to him. So, like, he hops a little bit and then he goes away.
Judger will say to Gallant, now, it is probably in our best interest to go to this prison and see what has happened there. It is perhaps, at least for this close to us, it's perhaps the most powerful or damaged part of the bog.
Mm-hmm.
We should see what we can find there. Though, and he'll hold up a sack of jingling forks he has. You may want to bring something with you wouldn't mind losing. The documentation that was presented to us is not entirely clear on what we'll find here.
Okay, Sam, quick side note. Does it take people's powers? Is there, like, any record of that?
There's very little known about this place because so few people have ever made it out.
Okay, because Gallant is basically buck naked.
Idiot! Bye, guys. Bye.
Right as he said that, I heard sirens out the window.
Yeah, Bob's on the run.
Oh, fuck.
But, yeah, Gallant's basically, like, buck naked under the armor.
Oh.
He has nothing except for the overkin on his person at any time, really.
Well, if...
And, like, a pocket full of, like, some money.
Well...
So that he can, like, buy a soda or something if he ends up in a bar. So, like, he would have roughly the equivalent of $20 on him.
Okay.
And that's it. So $20 and the armor, and that's it.
All right.
Seems good.
So, does the armor get the sense? Would the armor be able to have a sense of if that's dangerous for it or not? I guess.
The armor doesn't know anything about Grey Wall, and it can't read the documents. Based on the emotional impulses it's getting, it's like scary place, I guess. Nothing new.
Yeah. Okay. So in that situation, if Dredger is insistent on him having some stuff, he picks up a bunch of rocks and then puts that on the ship, and he goes, "If I need some stuff to lose, I got all these rocks now."
All right. And as he's climbing up the ladder to get onto the ship, he'll have a moment of shock and then look around like, Soros? There will be no response, and he'll just kind of shrug and keep climbing.
Oh, when the Fire Nation needed him most, he vanished.
Soros has actually been right next to Exit Wound this entire time, trying to tell him his life story.
Is it through the tube worm, or is he just talking to him?
He's just talking.
Oh, that's great. I like to imagine he thinks Exit Wound can actually hear him because he has a habit of just like nodding every once in a while.
Exit wound pushed the tube worm down 2 segments so it's on the lowest volume.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Exit Wound is a lot more like cautious about the losing things stuff because obviously his whole power and like life essentially anymore is linked to his gun, so he will outright refuse to go into that place.
Absolutely.
But Gallon
It's only
has no
reasonable.
idea what any of that means, so he's very willing to risk it with
Yeah,
a bag of rocks and a will.
Yeah, Gallon's got a rock.
No, he's got like a handful of rocks.
Hell yeah.
He's got the most important item of all. Some gravel he found.
Either way, as we are making the transfer, Dredger would like to, in an attempt to make the rocks more valuable, can Dredger find on board the Spirit of the Known some device that'll turn these into like the bag of pebbles you get at the museum gift shop to fulfill the needs of your little goblin hands?
So, as you're looking through the Spirit of the Known LLC's vast cargo holds, unfortunately, all you find is the Philosopher's Stone.
Tell me more.
It turns objects into gold, creates the elixir of eternal life, stuff like that.
But it requires the infinite knowledge of alchemy.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Either way, Dredger is absolutely going to put that into his cabin on board the Spirit of the Known, in the hopes that he'll be able to grab it back.
You can try.
You also find the Ark of the Covenant.
No, he had to sell that one a while ago.
Oh,
Actually, wait. Oh no, we've already left because I would have like immediately turned this shit around to put the Philosopher's Stone.
That's cool. The boat's not going anywhere.
Okay. So we go along this this journey. It's pretty uneventful. This appears to be in a relatively abandoned section of the bog. As you guys clear it, though, you notice the vegetation is growing sparse, and then dead, and then there's nothing. This area is just water that gets progressively clearer. Until you reach an untouched section of street. The street lights are still on. The cars are parked. The parking meters are still running. And you just see this neat little gray brick building almost like smooth pressed concrete with a sign that just says Grey Wall, and then it's surrounded by just nonsense. Everything
right.
around this building appears to be just perfectly intact and functioning normally. Like, not a
Alan?
second has passed since the awakening.
Gallant goes over to one of the parking meters and sees if there's change in it.
You press the return change button, you get one quarter.
Nice. Is it
Aren't
a
those
rare
actually
quarter?
really rare in the city?
Yeah, it doesn't use American currency, that's why it was in there.
Yeah, Dredger will be shocked and say, we've not seen one of those for,
How many parking meters are there?
God, it feels like forever.
I press every return change button to see how many quarters I get.
You get a kroner, you get a peso, you get a euro coin, and then you get scrip, which is the city's original currency.
A kroner.
Yeah,
And
like
one
the
scrip.
Icelandic kroner.
Yep. I'm just making sure I'm getting it all.
I think that's what the coin is also called. I don't know.
Icelandic kroner? Icelandic money is called a krona.
Remember.
Kroner is Norwegian.
So I got a beer. Nice. So I got a script, a quarter, a peso, a euro, a krona. And
Yeah.
what else?
For reference, one krona is worth 69% of a penny.
The last one was a scrip, which is spelled SCRIP.
I only have 5 coins. So I have a script, a quarter, a peso, a euro, a krona.
Yeah, the
What was
sixth one didn't have anything in it.
That's fine. Comes over with his change and goes, "Oh, look at this, Dredger." Hang on.
Dredger will be shocked that you found like non-city money and look you in the eye and say, we don't have any good idea what this is worth anymore. It's quite odd that this would be here."
Talent takes the one script, because you said that's the money we're using right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Puts it in the pocket on the right side of his armor that forms when he goes to reach into his pocket. And then he takes the rest of the money and puts it in the left side pocket.
Dredger will nod at that, and I'd like Dredger to assess the damp in the area.
Non-existent.
Completely no damp at all.
You've never seen a less paranormal area in this city.
Huh. That is brutally unfortunate. Wait, are Dredger's power still on?
How many of them are tied to the damp being present?
All of them.
Then this area is mildly toxic to you. Do you have a dredger totem?
No, because I didn't say I set up the workshop to make them.
Okay. Wait, I gave you one for free, though. What happened to that one?
I didn't know you gave me one for free.
Also, wouldn't you have a workshop on the ship?
Yeah, the research lab can be used as a workshop for anything.
So technically, how long did it take us to get here?
Like a few hours, 2 or 3.
Is that enough to make another totem?
All right, Dredger will have made one then.
So you can have your emergency totem, and the one you need to
Landing-
walk around.
Landing here, Dredger will sort of cough, and Gallant will notice that like he looks like he's having heat stroke. He looks really rough, and sighs to himself and takes out this bizarre little totem that you had seen him make on the boat. It's like a little contorted horseman. Gallant will, or Jesus, sorry, Dredger will blow into the face of the statue, and green fire and bizarre crackling noises will rise up from it.
Well, golly, Dredger, is now really the time to be hitting the hookah pipe?
Dredger gives you a withering glare and then says, This is an inhaler."
Oh,
I like how he's just
Yep.
skipping to, yeah, he'll understand this.
Yeah.
ah, man, sorry. I didn't know you had the asthma.
Dredger will wait a few minutes for the fire of the thing to die down and for it to start siphoning damp from wherever damp comes from. He starts to look a lot better. He's not sweating as much. He looks much more alert and aware, and carefully puts the totem into his back pocket,
All right.
which he then cinches shut like 3 times, ties his belt over it.
Okay. So, is there anything else you guys want to explore in this initial surrounding area, or do you guys want to head into the prison itself now?
Actually, what stores are there?
So there's like, the stores weren't completely caught in the preservation aura, it looks like. There's like a hollowed out haberdasher, there's a kind of a crumbling construction goods store, a blown out bakery. You know, like just that random assortment of shops you sometimes see on like off main roads in a mid to large size town. You know.
Any weird ones?
Before we get in there, I'm gonna duck into the bakery and check for snacks.
Reasonable.
About half the counter survived. All of the cakes are completely fresh. The bread is still warm.
Delicious cake.
Dredger will.
What kind of cake do we have going on here?
Well, we got petit fours, we got buttercream, we got red velvet, we got carrot cake. There's a wedding cake in progress in the back. No employees though.
We're gonna look around. Assume that this place has been abandoned for a while. And then, by the law of conservation of goods, I'm going to consume this cake. And then he eats the buttercake.
All right. Your armor
Gonna have to.
creates an immunity to being overfed.
Yeah.
I was assuming you're gonna. I feel like you're gonna have to roll endurance at some point later to avoid yarding.
Nah, I'm good. The armor's very helpful. Cake.
Dredger
Alright, good,
would
let's
like
go.
to take a closer look at the sign for the prison.
So make a scrutiny check for me.
All right. Give me a second. What's my screw? Okay. Where are 310.
So Grey Wall is perfectly clear as the center of the sign. As you radiate from the center, it looks like the text runs, blurs, gets repeated, and loops back in on itself until it's just forming complete nonsense. Once it gets far enough away, it doesn't even resemble language anymore. It just represents kind of like more abstract art than anything else. It doesn't look like it was done on purpose. As you touch the sign, it feels uneven under your finger, as if layers upon layers had been applied without like thought or reason. The only thing that is discernible is on the bottom post, it looks like someone has carved a message. Someone has like taken a knife and carved. The cycle must end.
Oh fuck. Um, I know that Avery wouldn't remember that. Would Dredger?
Uh, if you feel like it, yeah.
And I guess that it kind of depends how that situation works. I guess since Avery was always cursed, that would the field of forgetting from the whale fall also affect any entities that were peering through Avery?
I'd say he would be able to remember the whale fall, yeah.
All right. So Dredger will then see that and be quite deeply concerned, actually, and say to Gallant, or I guess walk into the bakery, which will be a heretofore unseen house of horrors. Just fucking crumbs everywhere. What does it look like when Gallant puts away an entire cake, Alex? Because I'm imagining the armor picking it up in some kind of fucked up mandible, and then he like does the thing an owl does when they swallow a mouse hole.
Yeah. So it's just like if he wanted to eat the whole cake, the armor would, like again let him perceive him like eating it like maybe a handful at a time. But for the sake of brevity, the armor just slams like it opens a jaw essentially on a huge tendril and just slams that into the cake, and you just watch it go down.
Yeah, like he drinks the cake basically.
Yeah, and you can see like it's doing that weird like tendril pumpy thing, or like
Oh,
Advanced slurp technology.
a slurp.
Dredger will shudder and then say, Gallant, we've learned something about what's happening here. What do you know about the the fundaments of this city?
And he just licks his fingers clean. I don't remember much about anything of the city's history. I was not good at history class.
How are you with perhaps astronomy or cosmology?
I don't even know what those words mean.
Very well. This area may be beholden to an entity called the Hanged Man. We don't know exactly what he is to the city or what he does for the city. We just. Do you know the names Urban Decay or Johnny Switchblade?
Would I know those, Sam?
Make
Is
a
Johnny
streetwise
Switchblade?
check.
That's a mind stat. Ugh, I gotta go get my dice. Hang on.
Step 1, invoke the name of Johnny Switchblade. Step 2, frolic.
Step 3, don't let the existential dread set in.
Step 4, dance class.
I did not succeed. A 9 and a 1.
You've got no clue who these guys are.
Never.
All right.
Does the armor get the sense now that we're like in the area that this is dangerous to it?
The armor isn't perceiving danger quite yet. It is thinking this is an incredibly unusual area. The armor
Dredger.
might
Sorry.
think, what the armor might think is it's not. This isn't quite correct, but it's the closest translation you can probably get from it. If I stay here for an extended period of time, I may starve.
Interesting. It's a good thing there's all this cake here.
Dredger will continue and say, the Hanged Man is perhaps the most powerful entity we've met thus far in our time in the city. And there's some concept of stewardship over the Hanged Man, which apparently gives whoever is steward an object of incredible power. We know that one is given to Urban Decay, who is perhaps the most powerful. The most powerful talent we've ever seen operate. We don't know what to expect here or how close the Hanged Man might be to this location.
Well, in that case, I think we should get in, get out, and go home.
Note also that we don't know how it works with your armor exactly, but have you yet encountered memory manipulation?
The R immediately recognizes that yes, he has encountered that, and is going to go like tell him no, they've never encountered memory manipulation before. But so
Wait, I'm sorry, you cut out there?
Gallant says, "No, I don't think I've ever encountered memory manipulation. Sounds
Fair.
complicated."
All right.
Now,
The
Alex, I
Hanged-
have a very important question because I didn't think it would come up. Will the armor ever let him manifest immunity to memory manipulation?
So I feel like the armor's immunity that it provides to him, it would only manifest that immunity, but it would like try to put the caveat of it doesn't affect its own power on it. Does that make sense? Could it do that with variable effect?
Yeah, I think you could do that. I think that's fine.
And yeah, so it's going to manifest a immune to memory manipulation from all external sources
Okay.
because the armor doesn't want like there will be a time probably where it lets him see the world, but now is not.
Yeah, this is not a good time for that.
Yeah,
Dredger
that's a
will
subplot.
continue and say, the last time we were here, we were just Avery, and Avery doesn't remember seeing the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man apparently can manipulate the memory of all who witness. We aren't even sure if it's him or if it's even really alive in any meaningful sense. Whosoever sees the Hanged Man will not usually remember that. Be prepared for perhaps not having no memory of what's happened here.
That's okay. I remember what happened yesterday, so
When he says that, Dredger will make eye contact with the armor, like very carefully trying to not make eye contact with Gallant, but with the armor.
anywho, claps. Let's get on in there.
All right. So this, despite being a prison, it's not a prison-sized building. It's like maybe only slightly larger than the bakery you just walked out of.
I suppose that tracks if they were doing like the weird wibbly wobbly mind stuff.
Yeah, so this is it's one story, maybe like 10 feet by 10 feet, incredibly small building. There's just a double door that opens. You guys go in. It's a single room with a CRT screen on the far wall.
All right.
Ain't much of a prison. I was expecting like sales, criminals, maybe like an old-timey sheriff.
The document our Lord provided us did say that they were experimenting here with causing prisoners to experience thousands of year terms over the course of several minutes. Perhaps this building doesn't need to be so big as a result of that.
What's on the TV? He goes over to the CTV because it's the only thing in here, and he didn't understand anything he just said.
Alright. You hear that low electronic thrum of a CRT suddenly clicking on. It says, "Welcome to Grey Wall. How may I assist you?" This is all just white text on a black CRT background, by the way.
Evan is going to use the finger click and search method to type into the computer, looking for Omega.
There's actually no
Where?
keyboard.
Hidden Sorrow still has that Dyson security systems. Would we be able to ask him to figure out what the fuck?
Is he?
Gallon's
in there right
also
now?
just going to. Gallon's also going
Presumably.
to start talking at the computer. Just go. Have you ever heard of a man calling himself Omega?
The screen clicks off. Clicks on. Visitors are not permitted at this time. Are you prisoners?
When are visitor hours?
In the past.
Okay, it's now time to ask a powerful question. Can I roll persuasion on a computer system?
I'll save you some time right now. You can roll it, but this thing has immunity to going outside of its programming.
Okay.
We can't convince it. Trade.
You can only convince it within the parameters of its own programming.
Okay.
All right. Dredger will say then, we aren't visitors or prisoners. We are here at the behest of the warden.
It's going to turn off for a second. It's going to think. So you are staff?
Yes. Oh wait, shit. No, Dredger can't say that. Fuck. No, I can't go down this stack. I need to I need to rethink everything.
Forgot you can't lie, didn't you?
I forgot I couldn't lie. Oh fuck.
I thought you were using
That
one
mean
of
he
your three
couldn't-
lies.
That
Oh,
means
I
he
thought
could.
those were only in.
No, you have 2 lies. You can burn.
Oh shit. Okay.
Like day or total ever.
Total, ever.
Let's not use a lie then here.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
I thought you were just using that. That's my bad.
No, I would. That was just.
Is what's his face actual warden of this place?
The CRT. Are you asking if it's the warden?
No. I'm asking you because technically we couldn't have said the warden thing either, right? Or else that would have been a lie.
Yeah, we're gonna retcon that. I thought he was using his lies.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
Okay. Let me think about this then.
Gallant's just going to respond with, "No, I don't think I've committed a crime, so I would assume I'm not a prisoner." Then he's going to turn and look at Dredger and go, "This computer's mighty strange."
We have little experience with them in general, to be honest. Dredger kind of furrows his brow.
Turns back to the computer. Well, technically, we were hired to come to the prison to speak to one of the prisoner about getting them out. I think they might have finished their in the prison, and it's time for them to be reintegrated to society.
All remaining prisoners are serving life sentences.
Oh, well, I think there might have been a mix-up then. Is the warden here right now?
The warden is. It does like 3 new lines, center of the screen, everything else is clear inside.
That's foreboding.
He's-
All right, I'm beginning. I'm starting to think of an argument for the computer.
This would be mighty easier if we could just talk to the warden about it for a second. Possibly. Is he busy? Is he able to come meet us? Also, where is inside? There's like one room in this building.
Only new admissions may be allowed inside.
What specifically was the paperwork that Mammon gave us about this? Was there like just recommendations we come here, or was there anything that could be construed as an order?
Nothing that could be construed as an order, just information like, hey, this is the last place anyone. This is almost certainly where Omega wound up. This is the last place anyone saw him about. If you wanted to find him, this is where he would be. And then it just gave you the
Gonna-
basic breakdown of what they knew.
I'm gonna
Alright,
look at the computer and ask it, does it have do you have like a database for the prisoners that are here?
Processing. Authorization required.
Dredger will break in and say, perhaps it isn't the greatest authorization, but we are private investigators here at the behest of one of the most powerful or important law firms in this part of the city. And Dredger will sort of hold up a doubloon as an example of that.
Scanning.
I would also like to roll persuasion on that.
Alright, roll persuasion.
All right. So that is roll 4d10.
Two penalty dice because you're holding up a doubloon to a scanner.
Okay, in that case, it is. It will be 5/8.
Okay. The computer's gonna think for a second and go, unrecognized admission. Would you like to consult the warden?
Yes.
Processing. Error. Danger levels critical. Cannot guarantee safe passage. Rehabilitation is in process.
Computer. Do you allow lawyers to speak to their clients?
Processing. This statement is true.
We technically are the lawyers for Omega.
Roll live for
And
me
we're-
right now.
God. I don't know how to lie. It's automatically failed. Got an 8 and a 2.
You see like a waveform pop up, some polygraph squiggles. Lie detected.
I mean, that's rude to just assume I'm lying like that, computer. As far as I'm aware,
New
I was sent
charge
here.
added to rap sheet. Lying and purposely misleading a court official. Sentence. 2 weeks.
Wait a minute, what?
Admitting new prisoner.
Now hold on just a minute. I'm assuming it's just gonna suck me into this screen.
So what's going to happen is Dredger, you're not seeing anything. Gallant, you're seeing the walls of this place fly back in an infinite black void. The screen is still just hanging there. You see a series of numbers and 7-second displays just light up and burn their way into your armor. Not hurting, but very clearly there. The screen just has a cross burning out of it, and you just see a single word that says confess.
Turns towards Dredger.
Dredger's not
Is he
there.
still close? Oh no. Computer, I think there's been a misunderstanding.
Confess.
I don't know why I would do that. I'm still confused as to what I'm being punished for. Armor, what the fuck is happening?
The armor is now aware that you are an incredible amount of danger. The armor is trying to get an immunity going. You've never seen the armor take more than like a couple of seconds to adjust to something. If you had to feel out how long the armor needs to adjust to this, it's saying about 3 days.
Is being technically near to a high damp source speed that up?
Maybe a
It's
little
not
bit.
going, but
So, Dredger, you notice that 1 second he's there, 1 second after Gallant is gone.
Treasure blinks in surprise at that.
I'm just gonna look and
What'd you say? Sorry, you cut out there.
process of getting. I'm gonna look at the computer and just go. So can we make like a deal then if I confess? Is that like a thing? You know, like you see on those cop TV shows where ends can get reduced or I can get special benefits.
This is not a bargain. This is not a deal. This is your redemption. Confess.
I don't even. To himself, Galen is just gonna go. I just don't understand what I did wrong. What happens if I refuse to confess? Saying I just out of curiosity.
You will not be sentenced.
And then what happens?
You will await sentencing.
Does await sentencing mean I get put back in the room I was put in?
Processing. Yes.
And it's only for 20 days a day?
2 weeks.
What was...
But that's the sentence. That timer doesn't start ticking until you're sentenced.
Yeah, that's what I'm confirming, though. So I understand I have to, like, accept the sentencing to get started. My question was more him clarifying he only has to survive in the prison for 2 weeks, because he's been arrested before, like, when he was growing up and held in a jail cell for a little while.
You know
So
what?
now he's
Yeah,
clarifying
that's
if he's
right.
going to be getting...
Time served is a thing, so you can basically serve the 2 weeks, and then once you're sentenced, boom, out.
Okay. So then, follow-up question: is there food in here for me and my amigo? And
Food
like
will
pats
not be
the armor.
required. You will not starve.
Does the other think that a thing?
The armor's not even sure anymore. We're gonna cut back to Dredger before this goes too far.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dredger will ask the computer almost at the same time that Galen disappears. Where has he gone?
Inside.
May we ask the nature of inside?
Inside the prison.
where physically is inside the prison?
You see like an ASCII representation of a box labeled Your World, and then you see a much larger box drawn next to it labeled The Prison.
That's so funny. Like a 3-year-old
Hmm.
explanation, like your world, prison, giant square.
Apologies, we were not aware this was a multi-dimensional
Facility.
facility. That's the one I was going to say establishment, but that's not quite what. Treasure will ask, what will happen when he is sentenced?
Punishment.
What is the nature of punishment?
Parameters left undefined.
Quick aside to like the people in the game. I'm thinking that this is probably the fastest way to like get into the prison. And at worst case scenario, 2 weeks, not that bad, right?
Yeah. Dredger will either way say, yes, we would like to speak with the warden.
Are you. It thinks for a second and then slowly types out, are you requesting admission?
Dredger will ask, perhaps, but first may we ask why you asked that so slowly? Is there something we should know?
Only prisoners may be admitted. It flicks on with the sign of the cross, and it says a single word, confess.
Dredger will sigh and say, yes, we do need to speak with the warden. We will be admitted.
Confess.
Sorry, what did you say?
Confess. Like, confess your sins.
All right. So, considering Dredger has completely non-human morality and other systems of okay, Dredger will say then, due to inattentiveness on my part, I was ungracious to a host.
Charge. Public indecency. 2 days. And you feel a burning as numbers singe their way into your arm.
All right,
Uh,
that's
in a
perfectly
similar-
fine.
In a similar fashion, the walls expand outwards infinitely, and you are in the same black void as Gallant.
Like we're next to each other now?
Yeah, same orientation and positions you were when you were previously in the room.
All right.
Oh no, they got you too?
We were trying to come and speak with the warden.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I was just confirming that they had food before I went in, because I'm assuming, like, at this point, this is the best way we can go in. The computer seems rather unreasonable when it comes to visitors and guests of the warden. So, did you confess?
I've not confessed yet, but as he says that, Dredger will hand you a piece of indeterminate jerky.
Puts it in the left pocket. I get hungry for later. So we're confessing, though.
Dredger will look up at the computer and say, "We both have been given a charge If we confess, what is the nature of our punishment?
Parameters unclear. Define.
Oh, this techno mumbo jumbo's hurting my head. I confess. Send me in.
A door opens up when you say that. It's just a solid rectangle of white light.
Doesn't like pull me or anything.
No, you're free. You have to walk in it yourself.
Well, Dredger, see you on the other side. Starts walking in.
Dredger just kind of watches you go, like, shocked.
Starts whistling like the prisoner thing, like do 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 do. Got like the chain cup clinking noise.
The old ball and chain.
But yeah, I go in through the door. Oh, before I go through the door, I turn around to the computer and I go, are lodgings permitted? Like, can I request who I end up next to? Or is that not allowed?
Prisoners are assigned. Requests will not be honored.
Well, that's not very nice. Kicks an imaginary rock and goes through the door.
So Dredger will say, we confess to being ungracious to a host.
As before, it says... It interprets what you're saying. It says, sentence, public indecency, 2 nights. The door opens for you as well.
Before Dredger walks through, he'll ask, you did say earlier that we would see the warden. Are we allowed to speak with him once we walk through this door?
Incorrect. Through this door is admissions. The warden is in the warden's office. You will make your own way.
Thank you for the information. And Dredger walks through the door.
Alright. You go through the door, and you guys walk into a bloodbath. The admissions office, there's just blood everywhere. Disembodied corpses, flayed skin, people biting into wiring with their own teeth to electrocute themselves. It looks like it happened all pretty recently. The numbers on all of their arms still counting down.
Oh. Dallin's like, oh, it's a clock. Oh, I thought it was like a prisoner number. He's like looking around for his. He's like, how long does that say?
Well, the issue is yours isn't ticking.
That's weird.
Yours and Dredger's
Maybe we have to like log in.
Dredger will say, perhaps, yes, we likely need to move through admissions before it truly starts.
Sam, is like a side note, all of the blood on the ground is probably getting eaten because the armor is nervous about starving. This place is getting magically clean.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, like, this place looks recently dirty. Like, all of the stuff here, this isn't abandoned. The lights are on. Everything broken is very recently broken. There's still computers turned on. This is... Like, this happened right before you guys walked in, it feels like.
That's crazy. Do we, like, see anybody that's not, like, crazy? Is there, like, somebody at a desk or something that we should go talk to?
Everyone is currently dead. There is a computer and a fax machine on the receptionist desk in front of you. The receptionist kind of used a staple remover to remove their lower throat, though, so they're not getting much help.
Speaking of staples, is Hidden Sorrows here, or can he not enter the prison because the computer can't see him?
I don't think the computer can see him.
Okay.
That's funny. Just guys.
If Hidden Sorrows went deeper into the building, like just opening that door past the computer, what would he find? Just like not inside the prison, but in the building the prison is located at.
You would find a janitor's closet.
Score. Hidden Sorrows will be dealing with the ramifications of that while we are off in extra dimensional space.
Hello, computer.
This one's just a standard, like, Macintosh type computer.
So it has a keyboard.
Yeah, it has a keyboard.
It types in, "Where is Omega?"
Pulls up. The closest thing you get is, like, prisoner record files. Omega is in solitary confinement right next to the warden's office. To get there, the fastest route is probably through the infirmary. You don't know why the computer said there was no food. There's straight up a fucking cafeteria right there.
Woo!
And then there's
I knew there'd be food in prison.
You'd get through the death row inmate cell block, and then you would get to solitary confinement by the warden's office.
Dredger will remark to you, he's seeing you like smile like a fucking maniac when you read about the cafeteria, and say, it may not be the best idea.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Their chefs probably ain't the greatest, but at least it's food, right?
It may. How familiar are you with fairy stories?
Well, not to be impolite, but I ain't no fairy, so.
Dredger will just kind of sigh and then, if you eat food that is offered you in a place like this, it is possible you'll never be able to leave.
I thought that was what the timer was for.
It's not counting down, is it?
Yeah, I'm assuming we got to talk to somebody. Oh, that's a good point. Computer, where do I start my timer?
Are you typing that in as you speak?
Yeah, types it in as he says it because he's real dumb and he can't do it unless he says it and types at the same time.
You get a file for Project Ouroboros. It's labeled as classified. It asks for a login.
Doesn't even make sense. How do I check into the... Project Ouroboros. Uberoo. Does this make any sense to you?
It's Ouroboros. It is a symbol for eternity of a snake eating its own tail.
Why would a snake eat its own tail?
We should probably just move to the warden's office. We don't know the credentials here, and we aren't certain if we could even enter them.
I guess that's fair, but
yeah, like as an
let's go
aside,
get Omega first. Maybe we get Omega first, or do we talk to the warden first?
They seem to be right near each other.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we can just figure it out as we go. I don't know why I even thought of making a plan. Starts walking down towards what was it, the infirmary? Was the first thing, or the cafeteria?
Yeah, they're alternate paths. You can take one or the other.
I ain't hungry yet. Let's do the infirmary. Okay. Maybe they got cute nurses at this prison.
So you guys walk down a little bit. Sorry, 1 second. You get a decent way down the hall. And then you hear that CRT thrum again. Like an old TV turning on after a long period of inactivity. And then you immediately hear screaming, yelling of people back in the admissions office. The sounds of violence.
I peek my head back in.
You're fast enough that you sprint down the hall, you disappear, reappear. Everyone's back alive. The room is pristine. There's no blood. You immediately see people like you see one dude slamming his head on the fax machine and smashing his own head in with the copy machine. You see one of the security guards take out his gun and just start shooting people and then himself.
Mhm.
Um, make a perception check for me.
4 10s.
Some people seem desperate. Other people you notice like it looks like they just like kind of become aware of their situation and there's like a resignation like not this shit again before they just do like the most horrific shit to end themselves.
Very weird.
Is Dredger
Anyway,
fast enough to
goes
also see
back.
this happen?
How fast are you? How fast can you move?
Dredger has 8 body with 1. Or, Dredger just has 8 body.
Yeah, you're probably fast enough to catch the tail end of this. It looks like
All
this
right.
entire room full of people managed like complete liquidation in less than 15 seconds.
Dredger will say then, perhaps this is what was meant by Ouroboros. They're stuck doing this forever.
There's that weird word again. Also, these animatronics are very strange. Who would find this entertaining? Starts walking away from there because he's just lost, and the thing did not show any of them. Just showed him a bunch of robots beating the shit out of themselves. He just leaves. Like, that was so weird.
Man, this Chuck E. Cheese sucks.
Hopefully the affirmative now is. Yeah, basically, he's like, I don't understand this place at all.
Damn. It's all kicking off over here.
Alright. So, before you guys get to the infirmary, you do go through the prisoner's ward. And you do notice several sites. As you get further in, you notice that the staff had clocks on their arms as well that were counting down, but they were counting down with numbers. As you get further into the prisoners' ward, the prisoners are a little bit twisted. Like their numbers are either kind of glitched out a little bit, or like certain numbers are replaced with wingdings. And some of the prisoners are not looking good. You see one dude who his skin appears to be made of glass at this point. Every time he moves, chunks of him break out, like just shatter. And when he exhales, blue smoke comes out. Another prisoner appears to be just merged with the walls of his cell. You notice that there's a small chapel. There's a small chapel that was made for prisoners. You notice all the religious iconography has been torn down, and there is a single shrine with a noose hanging above it. And you see like the burned shadows of 3 separate people, just around the noose. Everything in that area seems a lot older.
So, Dredger will look at that and say, we should stop here. This could be related to the Hanged Man.
I thought
Be
we
strange if
were
it.
coming for Omega.
We are, but we should still know what happened here. Or that we might know how to leave.
Okay. I'll guard the door because it seems like some of these robots are very aggressive. Mostly at themselves, but you never know.
Also, is Timekeeper's clock analog or digital?
Analog.
Okay. Because if it was a digital clock, I was going to think some stuff about here. But Dredger will walk in and look at the altar.
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna go get some food because I'm starving. So
Yeah.
do this thing with Dredger. I'll be right back.
What languages does Dredger speak?
Just English and presumably going down the Gaelic family line.
So you see a number of missives and like pleading letters drawn very fucking quickly. The paper here is yellowed, almost indescribably old. Some of it just turns to dust as soon as you get near it. You step on the wooden planks here of the chapel. Your foot almost goes right through as the chunks of wood fall into a seemingly endless void.
Hmm.
You can kind of make out some of the Welsh that was on there. And it just simply reads, "Being of termination, we beseech you for our freedom. As you have ended the cycle in the past, please let us escape this cycle of samsara. We must be free."
Looking around, does Dredger see anything of like, do you ever think you'll grow to hate the person you've become?
Nothing along those lines, but you do notice one page is just "the cycle must end," written in about 200 different languages.
All right.
It looks like there was a bowl where an offering was made, but it's so old at this point that anything that was in there is just completely decayed.
I do have 2 hard dice of permanent perception on top of 3 hard dice of sense. Do I get anything more from that?
Let me think. What would you be looking for? Anything in particular that I could feed you details on?
Like anything that could tell me exactly how long this room has been here?
Based on the level of decay you're seeing, probably like the fact that there's still paper. This is a pretty climate controlled area. You know, it's a pocket dimension. There's probably not bacteria to break stuff down. So this could last a lot longer than normal. But even then, you'd struggle to say this area is more than a few hundred years old.
Okay. And I assumed I'd just kind of be able to know that, considering how old the Lord of the Drowning Folk is.
Yeah. Now, that is a distinct difference than the rest of the entire prison, because everything else looks brand new.
Do I see anything that might suggest that this part of the prison was shunted in from a different reality, like the place the hangman head lives?
No, this is... Everything here is similar construction. This is definitely part of the prison originally.
I suppose then that this area has just, based on what was done here, has just experienced the most time. The silhouettes of humans on the walls, like the nuclear shadows, are they just normal human form? Is there anything more discernible about them?
Some of them are weirdly shaped, like a bit too lanky, a bit malformed. It looks as if the prisoners aren't... It looks as if the prisoners might have some corruption, something going on that has altered their forms. But
Okay.
These guys still look vaguely human shaped, not like the people on the cells you're seeing.
Okay.
Those guys, like when they're tired, like if you stand around for a while, the glass guy, his timer is only 10 seconds. Basically, he shatters, the timer hits 0, and he's suddenly just back there completely intact.
Oh, God.
And the timer is back at 10 seconds, it starts again.
I'm back, by the way. What happened?
Dredger learned some about how this room is incredibly old and absolutely related to the hangman. It would appear that the hangman does something like called ending the cycle that I don't quite understand, but it would appear that any of the prisoners who have left by dying left because of the hanged man. Like they
Mhm.
beseeched him or it somehow that they would be allowed to actually end. Though Dredger would like to try testing something. Can Dredger drag the glass man into the altar room?
You'd have to break into his cell. It's like a Hannibal Lecter style plexiglass with air holes on it. If you guys want to make an attack on it.
That
Did
seems like a
somebody
really
say attack?
no. That kind of this seems like a very poor idea.
What do you mean?
There may be security systems in place for prison breaks.
I don't think that tracks with what all the robots are doing to themselves, right?
It's possible that the security systems are not currently activated. That nothing's happened that needs to trigger them.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you then smash the screen?
I don't think it's a good idea.
What if I run down, grab one of the people that's like in that other room, and run them back before they manage to kill themselves?
You could try going for it and just waiting for them to respawn and then grab them.
Yep.
Okay. So you wait it out. The room resets. I'm gonna need you to make a brawling check to grapple
And
someone.
ends.
All right.
Hi. I'm
You
gonna go die
grab this
here.
person. They feel weirdly more fragile than, like, it's like, it's like, you know how you can grab an old person who's never done any physical labor their entire life, and you grab an old dude who's done like 40 years of manual labor, and even if they look the same, one feels more solid than the other?
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope that made sense.
No, I get what you mean.
Okay.
Sam touches a lot of old men. Got it.
I used to visit my grandma a lot in the retirement home. I noticed the difference. So, if a normal person in the city is like the 40-year-old, like the 40 years of hard labor, this person feels like glass comparatively. Like there's something wrong here.
Don't worry. As I grab him, I go, "Don't worry, little buddy. I'm trying to help." And then we just like teleport as far as this guy sees, I'm assuming, into this like basically ritual suicide room.
So as you move, normally when you grab someone and move, you're incredibly dexterous. You're in control of your movements. People are fine when you move them. The second you move, your hand goes through this guy like gelatin. You just rip him apart completely.
Hmm.
Like the air pressure flays his skin, shatters his bones.
Hmm.
Dredger will say that I fear, or sorry, we fear the prison may be broken. No one's sentences are going through. Nobody is actually completing a sentence. They seem to have been here for so long that whatever is animating them or slowing time, well, time may not even really exist here. They're aging in other stranger ways. They've just existed for too long.
Hmm. I understood some of those words. Grabbing the guy didn't work out. Well, I
No,
should say
he
grabbing the
exploded like a
robot
water
didn't work
balloon.
out. Yeah. Which I find weird because robots are not made out of.
I don't know why this robot was full of Kool-Aid. I mean, I guess it's cool, but
Willy Wonka's the Terminator, powered by fruit juice.
So they come back. This same dude notices you. He fails his stability check, so he doesn't process this information. He immediately just... Like, it seems like his brain's trying to tick over, but this dude's been doing the same thing for a very, very long time. It's less of a habit and more of just his... Like, this... It seems like becoming aware and trying to kill himself is about as natural as breathing is for him at this point.
Can I attempt to roll a permanent persuasion to get him to stop?
Go for it. How many tens do you get?
Let's find out. That will be 6 tens.
Alright, this man freezes. And just looking at him, you can tell something's not right upstairs. He goes to speak, but this man doesn't speak any human language anymore. It's been too long since he's spoken to anyone else.
Hmm.
And a goo goo to you too.
Damn.
I don't know, man. I think these robots are just here for decoration. Like, you can't even move them, and they just rebuild themselves and do it all again.
Dredger will say to the man again, please follow us. And on that, he'll get 7 tens.
So again, this man does not speak any language. He's comforted by your presence. He's not trying to kill himself. You have no way of giving him effective orders.
And I try to grab him slowly, like push him
like
gently in the direction.
Try and, like, gently grab his shoulder and just move him along. Dredger, you're smart enough to realize... You're smart enough to realize what, like, in a sense... It's like a series of bullet points of knowledge in your head. 1.
Yeah.
Everyone in this city is a talent. 2. Talents can kind of cheat a little bit when it comes to normal human durability. 3. It's actually completely normal for a normal human to fall apart when moving at high speeds. Which brings to the final point. None of the people in this prison are talents. Or at least the vast majority of them aren't. The Awakening has missed them completely. They don't have power, they don't have the ability to manifest powers. They're just normal people.
Then Dredger will ask Gallant, Gallant, be as careful as you can be. We don't think these people have any powers at all. These people have been here, wherever here is, since before the city was created.
What are you talking about? These are robots, Dredger. Albeit real agile ones.
These robots have been here since before the city was created. They aren't built to the same standards as other robots you've seen in other parts of the city.
Weird. I'm still shepherding him in very gently.
Yeah.
Alright, you get him in front of the glass case prison cell.
Is that where we wanted him?
That's the last place I heard you guys going. I don't know where you...
Trying to get into the altar.
I wanted to take him into the altar room to see if what would happen.
Yeah, that's pretty much next to each other. Alright, you get him in there. Do you do anything specifically?
Well, I was thinking to just leave him there for a while and see what happens on the basis that this room appears to actually... Like, this room appears to have been created by the poor people of this prison for the purpose of leaving it. See if time passes for him. I guess his timer going down while he's in here?
His timer is currently at 0. it hit 0 while you were walking him over, and it's just stayed at 0.
Hmm.
Well, that didn't do anything. To the infirmary. Bye, weird robot guy.
The second you leave him, he just steps onto the altar, puts his head in the noose, and jumps. Once he does that, the entire shrine just collapses downward into the infinite void.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Treasures. Treasure says, I hope for his sake that actually ended him.
You have hard dice, and your perception's endless, right?
It's permanent.
Permanent. Good, good, good. You notice that areas have clocks too as you move through the prisoner's ward.
Hmm.
This area seems to be counting down from about an hour. Do you wait for it to tick down completely, or do you move on to the infirmary?
Can I think back to see if the admissions also had a clock?
It did, but its clock was analog.
Hmm. It probably makes more sense to move on. Being here during a reset may not be the best idea.
Gotcha. Alright, so you guys get into the infirmary, and you see people just... It's not gore, per se. It's... Stuff was... You see, like, medical procedures left half finished. You see people resurrecting in the middle of like iron sculptures, dying immediately and then being reset with like machines and computers adjusting things, analyzing time of death, levels of suffering, stress levels, stuff like that. Your sense is good enough that you can tell that this infirmary isn't meant to help people. It's how do you maximize pain in relation to time?
Who put this haunted house in the middle of this prison?
Dredger will say, perhaps that's what the purpose of this place is, to frighten and scare people. That might be what the punishment was supposed to be.
Very, very strange.
I am amazed at how, like, trying to move what I want to say in a way that Gallant will get. The perception jacking is incredible.
If it gets bad enough, he's just gonna go full dementia. Like what he's seeing and what he's experiencing is gonna have zero relation.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna need a stealth check from both of you guys, just to check something real fast.
Okay.
Health is the coordination roll?
Yes.
What was the thing for not being trained in it?
Your effects, you'll still succeed, but it won't be as good as someone who is trained in it. So, like, if you're driving and you're not trained to drive, you're just really coordinated, it's gonna be less like, smoothly driving, stunts and all that stuff. Like, you're not doing handbrake turns. You're just, like, crashing into walls and then using the momentum to reset yourself, You're doing stuff wrong, but you're so, like, just naturally good that you're still kind of getting your way through it,
Yeah, I got 7 9s.
Okay.
Dredger has 3 10s.
All right, you guys are both incredibly well hidden. You guys naturally kind of observe sight lines because you've both been in a lot of fights. You know how sight lines work. You know how to like control your movements. You're not making any excessive noise. You come across what looks to be a surgeon? Question mark. His skin has been peeled back and restapled many times. He's currently looking at a patient. You're not sure how he's seeing because his eyes have been gouged out, and he's replaced them with like what looks to be like two obsidian stones. You think? Um, Surgical garments kind of covering up mostly. Uh, you see, he does have a name tag. It says, "Hello, my name is Doctor," and then the name is scratched out, so we're gonna call him Doctor Scratch. And he's currently just taking someone apart and mumbling surgical notes into a recorder.
Oh.
He is
Um.
he is kind of blocking off the exit. He's in the way of the exit right now.
Well. Um. Dredger will ask him, or will say, "Hello there, Doctor. How goes the experiment?"
Uh,
Oh wait, no, we were in stealth. We should probably. Okay, all right. No, I'm still not thinking quite clearly. Alex, what do you think we should do here? Just move around the scary man, or engage with the scary man?
Well, I was always told growing up that you're not supposed to touch the Halloween actors at the horror houses. So I'm going to gracefully jump over him so as to let him continue to work.
Yeah, Avery will try, or Dredger will try to also move around in stealth.
okay. Awesome. All right, you get to the. You guys both. You guys have both hard dice and stealth, right? Like we don't need to re-roll.
I
I
have
have
a
fixed
and
wiggle die,
coordination.
not hard die, but yeah.
Cool.
And it's in coordination as well, but yeah.
No, that's good. He's not going to be able to beat your guys' passive stealth while he's doing this operation unless you guys do something. You guys get to the opposite door. You go to open it. You notice that you need to swipe a key card to unlock this door.
Can I look at the doctor and see if he has a key card on him?
He has a key card on him.
Can I
Fuck.
swipe the key card with my insane coordination?
Yeah, go for it.
Still remaining stealthed.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. Technically, pickpocketing someone is a function of stealth. I'm gonna need
Okay.
you. I think you have more than enough to do this. I don't know. We'll see
10
how
total
it
die in
goes.
coordination, 4 normal, 6 are wiggle.
So we do multiple actions. You can do. Okay. I'll ask you how you split this up. How many dice do you put in staying hidden versus how many dice do you put in pickpocketing?
Let me roll my 3 extra dice, right? Because I'm just losing
Yeah, because
one
you're
for the
just losing
multi.
one, and we're doing multiple actions for two actions.
Wow, I rolled 2 10s and a 5. So, with that knowledge, I'm going to do 4 and 4, 2 sets of 4 10s. Do I get a willpower for rolling the 2
Yeah,
10s?
yeah, you do.
Whee!
Okay.
Yeah.
So you managed to just easily. There was a hidden thread on this key card, but you're so good at just feeling the difference in pressure that the second it catches, you stop instantly, so he doesn't even notice the change. You just use a little finger claw, snap the cord, and it's off smoothly. You're going back. You notice one of the cameras is slowly pivoting to your position. You're not sure if that's because it's detected anything, if maybe Dr. Scratch's position is closely, like, watched more closely, or if it's a natural movement.
Uh, higher level functioning thoughts or for higher level intellects, I open the door. Say, well, whisper to Dredger, I think I did it, and swipe the card and we leave.
So
Before I like leave the room though, I do like put the card on the ground so that he can pick it up if he needs the card himself later.
so as you scan it, the door flashes green and unlocks. Now I'm going to say you guys are fast enough that you can open it before anything clicks into place. But you open it, and the second you open the door, the camera flashes red as it. The camera is looking at Dr. Scratch, not you guys. As you swipe the card, you realize the camera sees Dr. Scratch. You're using Dr. Scratch's card to access an automated door. You hear over the speakers, unauthorized user.
I should have misted the room first, probably.
It's fine.
So it looks like the automated security has connected the fact that Dr. Scratch was not the one who used his key card. The good doctor turns and sees you guys. Now, the door, it looks like it had an automatic lock that tried to engage. You guys, your stealth was so good that you were able to open it before the door was completely sealed shut, so you guys can run if you want to. If not, Dr. Scratch is slowly just walking to you guys, still mumbling into his surgical recorder.
If he's looking at us now, I'm just going to toss him his key card back and go, thanks, and just take off. Didn't want to bother you during the surgery, Your Honor, and just leaves.
Yeah, you guys can easily outrun him. We're going to treat him as in pursuit. So basically just treat him as always looking for you guys and always coming for you guys.
It follows.
Spooky.
Important mechanics note. Gallant, you look down. You realize, you know, you don't always realize things first, but you realize the hour on, like, the time on your arm listed 6 hours. It now lists 3 hours. It didn't tick down, it's just halved.
That's weird.
Do you think it makes sense to try and talk to the doctor or just run?
I don't know. He seemed like a weird, spooky guy. It's probably his job to scare us. I think he's just doing his job. And at the end of the day, we're only really here to try to like talk to Omega and possibly the warden to get out Omega so that we can leave. So like, I don't really know what's going on in this building. It seems like a very strange place, and honestly, it's too complicated for me, and I'm getting tired of dealing with it.
We're also growing tired of dealing with this. Place is quite alarming.
And I think we can just let the good doctor walk at his leisurely pace as I like turn and look down the hallway to see how far away he is from us.
So if you guys couldn't run at like 80 miles per hour, this would be threatening because he is booking it towards you guys. Like, this is faster than a normal person can run, but, you know, you're not normal people. So even at 100 yards and close and fast, he's, you know, that's a distance you guys can work with.
Yeah,
I got an idea how we could slow him a bit.
Cut his legs off?
No, there's a power that... There's a thing that Dredger could do.
I mean, you could feel free to try it. I'm just...
So, Dredger will yell out, "How long have you been here?"
So this is on me for not brushing up on surgical terms. He's currently, the second you speak, he starts whisper screaming stuff about tongues, the mechanics of tongues, about how the muscle connects to the diaphragm and voice box. And
Okay.
he takes out a scalpel.
Now, Sam, just to clarify, you would not use the character concept that I posted in the chat like 3 or 4.
It's not the many organs man.
It's not. It's not the good doctor, right?
It's
My
not
guy
the
who
good doctor.
his knife only cuts organs.
So,
Okay.
because Dredger and the Doctor are now communicating with each other, I'd like to roll for the drowning attack.
Go for it.
It is 4 10s, 3 attack levels, non-physical engulf.
Now I need to ask, how does it work if the person doesn't have lungs?
It doesn't work if the person doesn't have lungs.
Okay. So I'm gonna. So you see this
Or
man.
they need to have lungs or a similar structure.
So you see various pockets on this man inflate with water and just geyser water. This thing does not have human organs.
Okay, does it still have something that's a primary lung, like...
I will tell you right now, he doesn't need to breathe.
Is he getting like? I'm assuming we had to stop for that to happen.
You had to slow it down a little bit. He's gaining, but you guys can put the distance between you two easily.
It's
Okay, I
still...
was gonna say if he got within hitting distance, I was just gonna take his arm and then one of his legs and keep going.
So I guess it's a question then, like, if it affected him in that it did still inflate something he has that's like a lung,
Like
It's-
various pockets of empty flesh on his body, because he is mostly stitched together.
okay, so then it wouldn't deal him any damage?
Not serious damage, no. It didn't, like, he had ruptures, but, like, for example, like, on his arm, you know, it looked like a shotgun blast went off, snapping a bone and all that. It didn't seem to slow him down any.
Alright. Well, Dredger will just say, let's continue. That one may actually be a robot.
What do you mean? They're all robots. Treasure, sometimes you say the darndest things. And then continues running down the hallway.
Yeah, Dredger follows and says, we aren't certain that we always see eye to eye.
Alright, so this gets us into death row, where prisoners slated for execution lay. It feels like a note was missed because as you're running past these cells, you notice the wall timers are set for like intervals of like 3 to 5 seconds, and you notice people throwing in electrical chairs just flipped on, resetting every 5 seconds, gas chambers, a man hanging for all time.
Is it the man hanging for
No,
all time?
It's just death by hanging.
Okay. I keep expecting that because of the weird infinite void space, we're gonna find Glaxtor.
He does like those.
Yeah.
So you guys are moving through this pretty rapidly. If you're just looking to build some space between you and the good doctor. I'm using the name the good doctor because you used it. It's in my head. I didn't.
As long as it's not the same guy, it's fine.
Okay.
Make sure.
Okay. You actually do notice someone being dragged into a cell by what looks to be just an amalgamation of flesh. Like its arms seem like meaty clubs. You don't even see the fingers. You're not sure how it's grabbing this guy as he struggles. It looks like he's being forced into a chair for lethal injection.
Are there any numbers on the thing?
Yes, but they're completely corrupted at this point. You can't read them.
Hmm.
It's not even in the same format. Like your numbers are straight along the forearm. His curve and swirl all around his body.
I see.
Every single digit's changing constantly.
Very strange. Very strange indeed. Who put this Care Bear in here?
Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck. Scary Barry!
We are really getting to the point where his armor's just like, look, man, do you want me to just take over for a minute?
It isn't here.
Because I am struggling.
Having a problem.
Just gonna ignore the Care Bear and continue on. Like, Dredger, are we sure we came to a prison? I haven't seen very many prison-like things going on in this facility.
Jojo doesn't say anything, but he makes eye contact with the suit's eyes.
It's the same eyes.
Oh, I was sort of assuming that.
Technically, the suit has 4 eyes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because if you look at the picture... Where's the picture?
God, I don't even know how to...
Yeah, I had assumed that the suit was like a Denarian, had more than one, had more eyes.
I totally forgot.
Oh no, the picture only has 2 eyes, but I like to imagine that it has 4. So it has like the 2 eyes where his face actually would be, but then like, you know how like spiders have the eye like 8 eyes, but the main ones are actually the really little ones right above the 2 biggest ones.
Yeah.
That's what the suit does, so that it can see everything in front of it.
Good.
Like feed the information to him properly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's got like the 2 orangish eyes, but then it has like 2 black little beady eyes that are just like, if you look at them, they're unsettling.
Yeah.
Every time Dredger looks at him, he just feels really weirded out.
Oh, like Dredger will still straight up just like look this suit right in the eyes at that.
But yeah, if the bear seems busy, so we wouldn't want to interrupt it. As such, I propose we simply walk past.
Dredger just sighs and starts walking.
Well, I didn't mean walk, Dredger. I mean, we're still getting traced by a creepy McDoxterson back there, so... He is very upset that I borrowed his keycard without permission.
Dredger just starts booking it.
Yeah, let's keep the pace up. You're not getting tired, right?
Nah, you guys are good at your base level for right now. Executioner Care Bear is going to sniff the air with, since his nose is on the back of his head. You're going to see like these massive fleshy slits open in his back as he takes in air. He's going to give you guys a few rounds as he finishes hooking up this man for lethal injection. And then he is also going to start chasing, but in a different manner than Dr. Scratch.
Okay, should we take a guess? Does this fucker have lungs?
Well, he did open 2 slits to breathe. So that would imply he has to at least breathe.
Yeah.
So maybe he's got something that channels the oxygen. Or whatever it breathes, and maybe you can fill that with water this time.
If it gets right at us, I have an option for attacking it.
Yeah, I mean, if we really want to, we can kill this stuff, Tom. I'm just under the assumption that we're not here to ruin the hot... Like, again, we came in here to... Like, as far as Gallant knows, we came in here to...
Yeah, okay.
properly release one guy. He doesn't even understand it's a prison break yet. Nobody's like elaborated this concept to him.
Oh, all right.
That's why he said, like, I think we're his lawyers. Like, he's not. He doesn't know what we're doing here. He wasn't paying attention. He was playing Jenga, and then he got mad. Now he's in a prison. It's the weirdest fucking prison in the world.
All right, yeah. Let's just go for it then. Let's just keep going.
He's also now contemplating, is it Halloween time? Did he miss that? Last time you checked, it wasn't October.
Who knows what month it is anymore? So as you guys run down the hall, you get to a T intersection. You go left or right?
And was it left or right on the map from
So as you
map
look at the
have
map,
like a
it looks like left immediately just goes straight down to the elevator section. Meanwhile, right takes you up to the fire exit.
Hmm.
all right,
Um.
Dredger. I'll let you figure that out. I'm gonna just turn around and wait for Dredger to give the signal that he's made a decision, and in case they get too close, I'm just going to stab the first thing that comes up to us.
So
In
Doctor
it,
Scratch, you guys don't see anymore. It doesn't look like he does a straight on pursuit.
good, good. So just the giant Care Bear is assaulting us.
Hmm.
Got any ideas, Tom? I didn't
Um.
realize there were levels to this place. I thought it was just like one very long, infinite first floor.
Yeah, I thought that after the death row, we would be at the warden's office, or we want to get the solitary confinement.
Hey,
I'd assume we want the elevator for that rather than
Tom, do you want to make
the.
a navigation check real fast?
I don't have any dice in that, but sure.
Hey, you might get lucky.
Mind roll.
Oh, I did get lucky. I got 2 9s.
It was a straight shot when you first checked it.
Fuck.
That's not good. The way he said that.
Okay, I vote elevators because fire escape implies outside, and I don't really want to know what that means.
Alright. You go, you turn left. You see yourself at the end of the hallway with the executioner between the hues.
What?
You are at the end of the hallway you are looking down currently. You
Oh.
see yourself looking down the hallway you're currently looking down.
Hmm.
Why is there a mirror house in this elevator?
All right. That probably means that we actually need to deal with one of these things because it's keeping us here somehow.
No, you only look down the left side. You haven't looked down the right yet.
I'll look down the right then.
Uh, you see a hallway that goes and then immediately turns left.
Hmm.
You look down at the map, you notice all of the corridors in the prison are changing shape.
Fuck. Okay. Like, where does it look like solitary confinement of the warden's office are now?
Well, since it's now listing the only exit out of your location as the hallway to your right, with the hallway to your left, it forms a loop where its exit is also its entrance. It looks like the left hallway is forming into its own self-contained dimension.
Okay. To the right it is then.
Roger.
Alright. You turn right, you immediately take the left as it's a 90-degree angle in that hallway. You immediately come to another right and left.
Um.
What the fuck is wrong with this mirror house? I glanced left. What do we see?
So this hallway curves upwards to the point where it. When I say upwards, I mean like you see it, the floor curving up, and then it's a straight vertical hallway.
Okay, and
You
then
look
right.
up, you notice the. Oh, sorry, you look right. So right is the hallway just kind of extends into an open field. It looks like eventually miles across.
And the map shows that we still want to be in the building, right?
Yes. So it looks like the The map is now forming into a labyrinth, with the right one going into what forms the outside circle of the labyrinth, whereas the left side looks like it's forming into roughly the same general area, but every other area is changing its position relative to you guys.
So if we go left, we're not going to get caught in a loop.
No, it's not forming its own pocket dimension like the other one is. It's not bubbling off.
Can we run up like the up direction if we stay on the floor? Like, is it gonna?
The gravity, if you walk down
That
a little
really
bit, it
quick.
doesn't feel like it's changing. You'd have to climb the entire way up, and it's a tall one.
Can we triangle jump?
Yeah. How good are you? How good at you at climbing or jumping, Dredger?
Well, Dredger has the 2 hard dice in body, but also 2 hard dice in athletics, so
Pretty decent.
at least 4 10s.
Okay. How fast would that let him climb?
About as fast as his normal move speed.
Jesus.
Okay. Dredger, you're up first. I'll guard the rear. Go ahead. We'll go at your
Alright.
pace. Because I have 10 wiggle die in body, so I climb like a madman.
All right, let me roll the other. Roll faster, goddamn you! Oh shit! That's 6 10s, and I gain a willpower.
All right, so you go up this curve and just straight up wall run for a little bit before jumping off, using prison bars, monkey bars, the air holes in the plastic as hand holes.
Can I actually touch the prison bars?
They're not iron.
Okay.
They are plastic. As you just vault your way up, occasionally prisoners will try and slam against the plastic wall to try and grab you or, eat your fingers. But you're a bit light on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
As Gallant is like following along behind, the tendrils are just like spearing people for leverage.
You do
Brutal.
occasionally find like gurneys and stuff in the hall, and you notice as you touch those are affected by normal gravity and they just start falling. As one gurney hits the ground, you hear this like low metallic groan, and you see the executioner smash into a wall at high speeds, now at the bottom of the hallway.
How we looking, Dredger?
With 6 10s, you're about a quarter of the way up.
Fuck.
Okay. Dredger, keep going.
Dredger will continue going.
Armor.
Guard-
Looks like we're gonna have to go fight for a little bit. Gallant like stretches a little as the armor holds him in place.
All right,
Let me.
Yeah, what's up?
Let me know. He turns back to Dredger and goes, "Let me know if that pathway looks like it's going to close off, so I can move as quick as I can. But otherwise, just keep focusing on climbing."
Dredger nods, and you can just barely see that as he continues moving up it. Fucking, what is his run speed? How fast is this guy moving?
What, the executioner?
No, Dredger.
I'd guess around 60-ish yards, maybe 50 yards, because I have 12 die and I go 80.
Yeah, let me just see what we got. It had 12. Oh no, that's jump.
I'm not sure how that works.
40 yards.
Wow.
Brutal.
Still really fast.
Yeah.
It's hideously fast. Fuck.
Okay.
Just wasn't expecting that.
So we're gonna do first round here. Dredger's a quarter of the way up. I'm gonna need an athletics check if you want to keep moving up. If you want to do an attack and move up, you need to multiple actions the athletics and attack. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So first one to declare is the executioner because I'm pretty sure his sense is the lowest. He is just gonna try and do a simple unarmed attack on Dredger. It's only gonna get like 6/8.
On Dredger from the
Or
bottom
not
of the hallway?
Dredger, Gallant, sorry. Fuck. I'm tired.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to, like always, ignore that attack and immediately. He doesn't have any glowing points, right? It just looks like a giant mound of flesh. Does it have
Just
a
me.
head?
Just me.
Okay, then I'm just going to stab it 2 times in center torso area,
Okay.
or uh, and we'll increase the attack value by 1 with an extra die, and the go first by 1 because I have 3 extra die. So I'll get 2 sets of 5, which comes out to 2 attacks at speed 11 with 14 damage each. Pen 5 disintegrate.
Awesome. So I'm gonna say, Dredger, your sense is high enough that you're gonna see the executioner is going to die from this attack.
All right.
All right. Do you make an athletics check or athletics and attack? What do you do?
I will just continue attempting to climb up, I guess.
Okay. Give me a roll. I'll tell you how far you move up after. So, how the attack goes: the spear manifests, stabs this guy, tears him to pieces, falls apart instantly, and then, Gallant starts to feel space unravel as all of the numbers hit 0 on the executioner. Now, you guys remember, his numbers were the most corrupted. So, I don't know how Gallant is going to process what he's seeing, but what Dredger sees looking down is a 10-yard sphere just open up with basically the executioner in a quantum state of both alive and present in every single location. It's just a basic sea of faces, grasping hands, rending themselves out from the fleshy muck, screams of the flesh being reknit and torn apart as space becomes unstable.
Oh.
So, how that's going to manifest is...
Gallant sees a bunch of stuffed teddy bear cotton shoot out and then start to like form into little teddy bear shapes and try to grab at him while singing the Care Bear theme song.
So how this is going to... God, that's fun. That's almost scarier.
Yeah, I was going to say that's almost worse somehow.
I know. Okay, so...
Like, that is exactly as bad.
So, a couple things happen. One, Gallant's going to get hit with Daze 5. He's going to get 5 penalty dice on his next roll. And every roll he gets while he's in this 10-yard area. 2, he's going to need to make an athletics check and a brawling check with the same action to escape this 10-yard sphere. Because both the ground is unstable and he's being grappled.
Sure.
And finally, the executioner is going to be alive next round. As the prison resurrects him.
Oh. Oh, so I got 5 10s on the athletics.
Alright, you are now halfway up the hallway.
Okay.
Alright, that gets us to next round. So
even with the disintegrate, it can resurrect him?
Yeah, because it doesn't care about his body.
Mm.
If you guys had security systems, you would have been able to figure out the conditions for Project Ouroboros.
Nah, it's fine.
It's a shame that Hidden Sordos couldn't come into the prison.
I know, right?
It's probably just while he would be so fucking dead.
Well, in that case, I guess Declaration is that thing just reforming?
No, it gets a full round.
Okay.
Death does not matter for this thing. So its declaration is going to be, it's going to basically rip open its ribcage and try and just consume you with a containment power. Now that's going to be 8 10s on containment, but that's not going to trigger until next round. It has to go last, basically. So if you can get out and get out of range, it's not going to go off.
And I would do that by doing the brawling and athletics check.
So here's with the containment power, you basically need to make 3 checks this round with 5 penalty dice. So you're going to take 5 penalty dice. You're going to need to do 2 multiple actions, so that's a total of 7 penalty dice. And you're going to need 1 brawling check and 2 athletics checks 1 to escape the unstable terrain. 2 is the containment is an athletics check. So if you can just get any athletics check, you will go before the containment and escape.
And you said 7.
Yeah, 7 penalty dice.
Okay, well, I only have 5 dice left over after that, so I'm not going to be able to get the checks done.
If you
So-
don't do the grapple, you can still do the athletics check to escape the containment, and which is him consuming you, and to not go prone with a second athletics check, which will at the very least let you make further actions next round.
Sure, we'll do that then.
Okay.
And it's just going to be, I only need to get 2 10s to not get eaten, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do 3 10s for the other one.
Okay. Yeah, you can't. You still have like a range limitation with how far you can move, due to the grapple, but they're pretty stretchy. Space is fucked, so you have enough room to get out of the way, finagle. The ribcage of teeth sinks in and tears out a number of the faces. Twice as many grow back to fill the rent flesh. Avery is now halfway up the hallway.
Does this effect trigger the immunity?
You know,
Because can you be immune to grappling?
not really. That would be like
Okay.
No, it would be. That's like a specific power. That's like intangible.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make
Yeah. No, I was
sure
just thinking
that-
it over myself. I'm not. It's a good question. It's because like, it's at least a maybe, but like this specific grapple, I think it's a bit too basic.
Then can I be immune to the daze effect of this?
Yes.
Is that attached to the grapple?
So the daze is mostly coming from the screen. Oh, you already have sound from Leviathan. So this
Yeah.
round, you'll be immune to the daze. It doesn't need an adjustment period.
Okay.
I forgot you had that. Okay, so, so the daze is gonna be gone this round. So you're gonna get those 5 dice back.
I'm assuming Dredger just climbed again.
Yeah. So declaration. The executioner is gonna get frustrated and he's gonna stop going after Gallant, and he's gonna just rip out a chain from inside of himself, and he's just gonna throw that up to start grappling after Dredger.
Okay. Dredger will then
And
stop climbing and roll for fog creation.
Well, we're getting into Gallant's. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Does
so-
Gallant declare, or does I thought Gallant declared before?
I go first because he has more sense. I declare first because he has more sense than me. Also,
Okay.
let me handle it, Tom. Just so Dredger can get out of there because Gallant can pretty much get clear.
Okay.
Free
At the
now.
same time,
don't
if I
even
do
have
the
to
fog
daze.
creation, I could potentially just teleport to the top of the hallway.
Okay, that
I don't know how much
the
space
fog
there
go
is.
up though. Yeah, how far away is he from the end? How long is the hallway?
So it's about a little under 300 yards.
Okay.
Okay. Because I can make the fog in weird shapes, I guess I can make 107 or 118,000 cubic yards of fog. Do you think that, or incredibly dense, like a cloud, basically? Do you think that's enough to reach the top of the hallway?
I do. I think so.
Okay.
So for my declaration, I'm going to start by removing the arm of the creature as it goes to throw the chain.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming it's using one of its arms at least.
Yeah, it's using an arm.
So I'm just gonna stab the arm with we'll do 3 wiggle dice. I'll do 3 10s on the arm stab just to do it does like 11 damage.
Okay.
6 go first. Pen 5 to center 8, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and then
see
I'm
if
gonna
I
use
can
the
get that
rest.
arm off, yeah.
I'm just going to use the rest to climb because I'm falling behind a little bit, so I'm going to try to catch up to where Dredger is since it's targeting him now anyway.
Okay. To escape, you still need to do the 2 athletics
Oh,
and
right. Sorry. I
or
forgot
no,
I
not
wasn't.
2 athletics. The 1 athletics and the brawling.
So, backtrack. I forgot I was still trapped in that thing.
Yeah, the daze is gone, but you still have to
Yeah.
make the checks.
And I need an athletics and a brawling just to break out of the stuffing.
Yes.
Hmm.
This
And is it just
evil
like
is
I need 2 10s to succeed because it's not checking against me, or do I need
Yeah,
like a specific?
it's not an opposed check, it's just any check.
Okay, so if I do 2 multiple actions, I lose 2 dice, and then I put 2 10s into both of those. It's 4 dice gone, 2 of which are no, sorry, 6 dice gone, 4 of which are the wiggle die. So I would have 6 wiggle die and 1 normal die left. And I can use the normal die to do the attack to rip its arm off. And the athletics check is already moving me, or is that
That lets you move. You can move up to your. It's going to be another athletics check to climb, but you're going to be treated as out of the pit.
okay? Sorry, I'm trying to do math with like all these actions I'm trying to take.
Yeah.
So 2 actions would have been 11 dice. 3 actions would be Bing breaking free of the pit, and that
Mm-hmm.
puts me to 10 die. If I want to do another attack, that leaves me with 9 die. And that would be all 4 actions covered with a pool of 9 wiggle die, essentially. So then I can make the 3 checks I need to do at 10 with a width of 2. And then the attack on the arm with a width of 3. So it would do 11 damage with go first, 8 total. Or 5 go first with 3, so 8 speed, 11 damage.
Okay.
With the 2 checks being done at to break free being done at 10s, just a 2 wide 10, and then 1 climbing check at 2 wide 10.
Oh, okay, so you do have a climbing check. Yeah, okay, so you bust out of this flesh pit, just rend, tear on your way up. As a blur, you just rip this thing's arm off. The chain clunking inches away from Dredger's head leaves a gouge in the hall as as Gallant makes his way almost halfway up the hallway just off of that one leap alone.
Well, how we doing, Dredger? Get out of here, man.
all right. So Judger has already made the cloud. Are we in the next round?
Yeah.
I'll roll to teleport.
Okay.
310.
All right. Awesome. I'm gonna need a. Does that have a mass capacity? Or are you teleporting Gallant as well?
Galen also needs to be in the fog. Is Galen right near me?
Yeah, he was halfway up as well with that one check.
Okay. How much do Gallant weigh?
Ironically, about the same as a normal human being wearing not even plate mail. It'd be like leather armor.
So like maybe 280.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine then. Yeah. So teleport up to the top of this big old cloud.
All right. With the teleport, weirdly enough, that puts you where the map says you should be rather than where you would be traversing conventional space. So
Okay.
you feel space stretch around you a little bit, and then as it snaps back, the map says you are in the warden's office. It is. So you are in a darkened room, a massive darkened room. As you see this pale, like it's a black orb with like blue lines of text just appearing and disappearing on its surface. A pool of ferromagnetic fluid coming up to your ankles and just spiking up at this thing. You see space itself running in long lines towards the edge of this room. And in the top, you just see block letters spelling out Warden.
I see. Um. So I guess the warden isn't human then.
It looks to be a massive AI core.
All right.
And Gallant, recognizing that we should be right next to where Alpha, like solitary confinement, is being held, like look to see if there's a door out of the warden's office.
You see a number of like metal boxes with locks on them submerged in the ferromagnetic fluid.
That sounds like solitary confinement.
You see text kind of. It's definitely on the far wall, but how the perspective works, it feels like it's burning itself directly into your mind. It just
Okay.
says, "Interloper, announce yourself," and that's to both you, Gallant and Dredger.
Like, what does it want exactly? Like us to say who we are?
Well, howdy there, Mr. Warden. My name's Gallant. I came here to try to talk to you, but your staff is really bad at their job and accused me of a crime.
Understood. What did you need to speak about?
Dredger will say, "We came here to ask after another prisoner by the name of Omega."
Omega is awaiting sentencing. Moved to solitary for violent behavior against other prisoners.
we we represent a legal firm. Is that would that be accurate about what Mammon is exactly?
Not quite.
Like sort
It's-
of.
Yeah, but it's not quite. It would be too much of a stretch, I think.
Okay, let me rethink of that.
Just in
Alright.
my opinion, just like an interested party would like to take this guy off your hands would be a better like pitch, because we're not actually trying to like absolve him of whatever crime the thing he thinks he committed. We can just pitch it as like we'll watch him and he won't be your problem anymore because he's in solitary for a reason, right?
I'm thinking maybe we go instead like because I like the idea, but I'm not sure the computer would take that because it doesn't seem to want to give anything up for any reason whatsoever. So instead, I'd try saying something like, "We represent an interested party and we'd like to offer counsel to Omega." Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean it might go for that.
The computer's going to think for a second. Roll persuasion.
Yes. Let me just look him up again. Holy fuck. It'll be 9/10s.
So the computer's going to think. It's going to go. The only condition, as stipulated by my creators, is that justice is defined in terms of punishment. If he leaves, I need your word that he will suffer.
Gallant just kind of like chirps in. Well, I learned for a long time ago in science class that basically living in itself is suffering, I think. So does that count, or do you like need more than that?
Buddhism has been designated a taboo religious material. Its sentence will not be included in this conversation.
Is Buddhism? Gallant becomes confused.
So instead of saying anything specifically like that, can the warden seems smarter than the default computer? Can Dredger attempt to? I don't know if this is a good idea. Can Dredger attempt to show the computer what Dredger actually is, and hope that that's enough to suggest that what the computer wants will happen?
Do you have any ways of manifesting in this world? Like, do you have any powers or anything like that you've built? Or
Technically, there's something that the Lord of the Drowning Folk itself has, which would come into play if Dredger's immunity came into play somehow.
I'm gonna put a no on that one, just because Mammon has a vested interest in not letting that happen.
Okay, so then,
Balance, after bumbling about with what Wyatt brought up Buddhism in his science conversation, comes back and goes, what do you consider punishment again? Is it just like pain, repetitive pain?
My creators
Possibly
left that
dying?
acid undefined. We have
Well,
been conducting. It flashes up to Dr. Scratch's findings. We have been testing all available paths.
Because we're kind of trying to,
Dredger will clap a hand over your mouth and say, sorry, but I have something that both feels in character, and I have something that I want to put here.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm shooting in the dark.
Dredger says, we do have a way to make him suffer. We can promise you that.
Need specifics. How?
Fuck. Okay, like, there is a joke I've wanted to make quite badly this entire time that I was thinking to drop there, but it doesn't make sense. I've been wanting to bring up this entire time that Gallant's response to Barry's Jenga skills was, he's breaking the law! What I was going to go for if the... Alright, okay, wait. No, I got it. Dredger says, we can make him experience the stinging defeat of failure over and over and over again, with no hope of ever actually succeeding.
Processing. Conditions accepted.
Yes! Now, out of
Will you
character,
be
what I
posting
mean...
his bail?
How much is his bail?
It posts an absurdly high number in a format of currency you don't recognize.
Dredger will say, conditions outside the prison have changed. Do you have any equivalent amount of... Can you please describe how much that amount of currency is?
It lists it in various denominations of currency. So, like, several $billion, several thousand million yen. Weirdly enough, 1 krona.
Gallant reaches into his pocket, pulling out his 4 special coins, and he holds it in his hand, and he looks up at the screen, and he looks down, and he looks up at the screen. He grabs the one that it showed on the screen, and he goes, I got one of those.
Bail accepted. You see one of the cells rise out of the ferrofluid and float over to you.
How big is it?
It's fucking massive. 16 feet by 16 feet easy.
Well,
Also, out of character, what I meant by Omega experiencing the stinging defeat of failure again and again and again.
Jenga?
Yes.
Jenga.
Right.
Oh no. Oh no, my boy! What have they done to my boy?
It's a good thing that the warden didn't ask for more information.
You
Okay.
feel space kind of reconstitute around you guys, and you guys just have the floating solitary confinement cell. As space reconstitutes, you guys are outside of Greywall. The lock pops off, and the box opens. Inside, you see a borderline destroyed suit of heavy armor and a grievously wounded man sitting next to it, unconscious.
All right.
Actually, he has permanent regeneration. That's not attached to anything.
So this never came up, but the warden did have a nullify.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, like
Oh,
his wounds
he would-
are starting to patch up, but it's slower than it should be.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure we were tracking.
Yeah.
I did add that to him and change him up a little bit so that he could function at this higher power level.
Let us get him and his. Let's take him and his belongings up aboard the Spirit.
Yeah, sure. But belongings. He seems pretty naked. Oh, you mean the broken armor? Got it.
Yes.
Scooping up. It's like weird because in my concept, right, like it's a nano machine, but I guess it could just have been broken, so it's like formed still.
So basically, it's kind of like how everything else in that prison was towards the center, which is to say, the stuff making it got corrupted. So like stuff is just built wrong on it.
Okay.
Built different.
Built incorrectly.
Built different.
Well, let's load him up. Goes over, starts grabbing it, scooping everything in. Actually, just for the sake of like the comedy of it, I think he might just pick up the whole like cell.
Hell yeah.
Probably strong enough to do that and just walk it over to the ship and then try to work out the logistics of like getting it up there.
Speaking of logistics, this entire time, our boy Soros has had his foot stuck in a mop bucket, struggling to get it out for this entire time. It's been trapped in that closet.
That's his boss fight.
Yes.
That's what he's been doing. Yeah, I mean that's pretty. We got it, I guess. Right? We're good.
Yeah. Greywall encounter complete. So to repair the Prometheus armor, the Gear Boys can knock that out because it is a mostly self-repairing thing. They just have to basically reboot it. That being said, it's very complicated, so it's going to require 16 dice of labor. But Barry is applicable because it has some nuclear components, so he can help out with that.
Okay.
You guys also had 250 critter points that were added this session for still controlling the flotilla. And
all right.
It's going to take 500 critter points to integrate Omega. That's just basically using your influence in some of the materials you guys got to shake off the warden's influence.
Okay.
Seems easy enough.
Do we still have that Philosopher's Stone?
The Philosopher's Stone is still there, yeah.
Fucking score.
Did we lose anything after we came out?
No, I think you guys actually managed to avoid most of the traps.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys did it on purpose either, which is surprising.
Hell yeah.
Brute force is always the way.
Yeah, I guess. I hope that was fun at least.
That was a wild session.
No, it was a good session. I think we got a lot done. I think it was good that we're finishing up now.
Mm-hmm. Spooky scary.
Yeah. I don't know. I was invited. Chris did send me an invite to the party, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it because it is like an hour away. And then if I go up there, I would have to stay. But I'm supposed to take my grandparents out tomorrow morning on like a grocery run.
Hmm.
So I think I will be sadly not going to the party tonight, but I will be at the Halloween party
Hmm.
whenever that is. And obviously, I'll talk to you guys like next Friday at the worst, but probably sooner than that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not
getting
going to be
that
going to
out.
the party myself, so I'll be online later.
Nice. For just like the housekeeping stuff, can we pay the 500 points now so that that can be done? Like the
Absolutely.
integrating can be done as soon as possible. And then, do we have more dice now because it's the end of the session, or is that at the beginning of next session that we?
We would have it at the end of the session, so just allocate them where you guys want. We'll do it in between sessions.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was gonna say we put the. How many do we have? We have. Is it 20?
Yeah, 20 normal plus 4 nuclear.
Yeah, so we can use the 4 nuclear, get 12 more, have 8 left over again.
Yeah.
I guess we can just dump those 8 into fixing the armor again.
I think that sounds good.
And then that way it'd be 20 left, and then the work table will be coming up right as they're finishing their research for the armor, and then we can just
Yeah.
port them all over later. And that also fixes Alpha's Prometheus armor so that we can have him be like on a need basis defender. If like they try to take the flotilla, we can have him appear and ruin their night.
Yeah.
Or he can go collect things for us.
Scare the fuck out of Mob.
Yeah. Maybe he possibly could loot some of the sites of power by himself if given like the proper instruction on what he was supposed to be taking.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll figure all that out later.
Yeah. For now, I gotta log off for maybe like 2-3 hours.
Yeah, sure.
I'm also
Yeah.
probably going to take a nap. I'm kind of wiped.